we'll start on the offensive side of the ball, and honestly, with the big story that everybody's talking about right now, so it's a good time to pop this one off. Um,
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence gets a bag, and
Gets a bag.
it's a
A
polarizing
bag.
bag. It's a
Yeah.
polarizing bag because a lot of people, they pocket watching, so to speak, right now with this. They're
Yeah.
not
Yeah,
liking this
they are.
bag so much.
They
Um,
are.
where are you on our man Trevor, our beautiful man Trevor, and his
Sunshine,
money?
baby. Sunshine.
Where are you on?
I'm not a pocket watcher. I'm a football watcher. And Trevor Lawrence has always been really, really, really good. I mean, when he was in high school, he was really good. When he was at Clemson, he was really good. He was not very good his rookie year, but that I think we all have collectively as sports fans agreed that was a little bit more on Urban Meyer than it was on Trevor Lawrence. And then his first year with a competent, real, mature head coach, he was really good. And then last year, he was really good. I know that the problem I have with Trevor is the stat sheet doesn't help my claim. There's never there's a famous meme that goes around, and I'm sure you guys have seen it if you're Jacksonville fans watching this. I know Ian and I have seen it, which is that it takes Trevor's numbers and it compares them to Gardner Minshew's, and they're basically the exact same. And everybody goes, well, what makes Trevor Lawrence any better than Gardner Minshew? And it's like, if you're looking at the stat sheet, I guess nothing. If you ask me, it's the eye test, baby. Like he's got everything. He's got the arsenal. He can run. He can throw. He's an unbelievable leader. He's always in. He's never in the limelight. He's never in drama. He got married at a young age. I don't know. He's just a solid franchise quarterback. He's what you want. He's got a killer arm. He's got killer legs. He's a nice kid. What more do you want from him? You know what I mean? And I guess that the question this last few weeks has been, well, is he worth the money? Is he worth it? Was he overpaid? Was he? The answer is it doesn't matter. The market is what the market is. If that's what the market is paying a 24-year-old 6'6" quarterback who's extending his NFL career for the next 5 years in Jacksonville, that's what it is. It's not for you or me to really decide. Tua's going to get a contract that's fairly large. Is he the best quarterback in the league? No. Has Tua even won a playoff game? I'm not even sure. I mean, I know Justin Herbert hasn't. Justin Herbert actually lost the playoff game to Trevor Lawrence, but we're sitting here nitpicking Trevor Lawrence getting that contract, but we weren't nitpicking Justin Herbert because of all the traits he has. But the same traits that Justin Herbert has, Trevor Lawrence has those same traits. So I guess I don't understand why we treat Justin Herbert like he's a top 5 quarterback, but then treat Trevor Lawrence like he's not even top 20. It doesn't make any sense to me. Trevor Lawrence has walked into a situation that I don't think a single quarterback, I don't think Patrick Mahomes could have succeeded 2021 in Jacksonville with Urban Meyer as his head coach. It was a nightmare. It was a disaster. Everything that went wrong, everything that could have gone wrong went wrong. That's just how it was. You bring in Doug Peterson, the team goes 9-8, they win the division. It was a perfect that playoff game was a perfect example of Trevor Lawrence's career thus far, right? He throws 4 picks in the first half and you're like, "Oh, this game is over. Trevor Lawrence is overrated. He's not generational. He stinks." And then he comes back in the second half. He's completely perfect. He throws 5 touchdowns, gets them back in the game and wins the game and goes on to play the Chiefs in Arrowhead and has them fighting until the very last minute. And they lose the game by a single touchdown in Arrowhead in his second year in the NFL. I mean, he's 24 years old. Every day, every GM in the league is signing him to that contract, and they're giving him the money. It is what it is. That's just how I feel about it.
It's beautifully said. And, aside, 2 quick points before we move on Trevor Lawrence. The big thing, and I'm sure you're seeing this too, obviously, if I am, you are. The big thing I'm seeing to like, it's like the knock of Trevor, the why he can't be, well, here's why he can't be, is the turnovers, right?
Yep.
Now, I agree. I think with the red zone fumbles, he does need to clean those up, and I think he will. I want to talk about this magical 60 turnovers in 3 seasons that everybody keeps trotting out as this sort of like debunk. That picture of
Yeah.
like the guy, like the soy face, who's like, "Ugh," like that guy,
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Yeah.
the
Yeah.
NPC guy. Like that's a big one they trot out to like try to like prove that he's bad.
Yeah.
You know who had at least 60 turnovers in their first 3 seasons as a quarterback in the NFL?
Peyton Manning.
Peyton Manning, Eli Manning, Brett
Yep.
Favre,
Yep.
Tom Brady, and Big Ben
Yep.
Roethlisberger.
Yep.
That's good
All
company.
first ballot Hall of Famers. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Like
And secondly,
all.
yeah, all first ballot. And secondly, when it comes to sports contracts, I really hate this idea that everyone keeps trotting out as well of like this like reward system. Like you play really well and you like prove it, and then you get the big contract. Why would a team pay a quarterback or any professional athlete, by the way, money based on what they did in the past if they're not expecting them to do it moving forward, right? Like I live out in Los Angeles. The Dodgers didn't sign, Ohtani and then say, yeah, you know what? We're going to pay you in a few years. We just got to see what you do in Dodger blue before we start like doling out tons of money. You want to get you want to get the best years out of the player for the money. And these professional, like these franchise quarterbacks right now have the ability to make an impact on the fucking NASDAQ, right?
Do you know how much I make a year? I mean, even if I told you, you wouldn't believe it. Do you know what would happen if I suddenly decided to stop going into work? A business big enough that it could be listed on the NASDAQ goes belly up. Disappears. It ceases to exist without me.
Like these guys have the ability to move markets. If Joe Burrow disappears from the Cincinnati Bengals, that franchise value tanks overnight. Sponsors pull, TV deal money goes away. That is what Trevor Lawrence means to the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are historically a pretty irrelevant franchise and a 90s expansion team. So I just want people to understand the business side of things before we start talking about why guys don't deserve money, because the NFL is a business. It's a huge brand. It's a huge corporation. And these guys are stars that have and Khan, the owner of Jacksonville, he understands that. It's beyond just coaching. It's beyond just stats. It's beyond just winning, to be honest. It's beyond what we like as fans. It's also about sponsors, TV deals, franchise value. All of this stuff comes into play. And Trevor Lawrence has made the Jacksonville Jaguars relevant on the football field and in the boardroom. So I just want to talk about
100%.
that too. Yeah.
Well, I think this is the bad part of all these media talking heads using the word generational when coming out of college. This is the backlash of all of that, because again, nobody batted an eye when the Chargers gave Justin Herbert $52 million a year. Nobody batted an eye. And then when they paid him, everybody said, oh, well, that makes sense. He's been really good. But the whole thing is that we didn't see this coming from Justin Herbert. He was a number 5 pick. He wasn't even the first. He was the 3rd quarterback taken in that draft. And everybody said, oh, wow, this is so cool. Who expected him to be this good? But the problem is that Trevor Lawrence we've been told Trevor Lawrence was generational since his first year at Clemson. Oh, he's going to be the number 1. He'd be the number 1 draft pick next year, but he can't go to the league. So he's going to have to be the number 1 draft pick 2 years later. And sure enough, he was. And as I just stated, he's delivered fully. And he just hasn't delivered to your liking, I guess, haters. Like, I guess that's where I stand on it. Like, he's completely delivered. Again, you just said it. It's an expansion franchise from the 90s that has never really been good. Who outside of that one random 2017, 2018 year has just been terrible. Like, first overall picks, second overall picks. I don't know.
I think they have like the least valuable stadium too. I mean, they're in talks. I hope this doesn't happen. I pray it doesn't happen. But they've been the team that's in talks to like potentially be outsourced to London. which
Yeah.
please don't let that happen. Everybody alive
No,
in
that would be
America.
ass.
It's an American sport. I'd stop with the
Yep.
overseas. It's just, that's a whole different conversation. But
Yep.
I think it's really important to start there.